Welcome to Business Talk, our weekly University of Rio Grande, the Ohio State University South Center's podcast show. We are here at the University of Rio Grande TV studio. Not only are we doing internet radio through Blog Talk Radio, but we are also live on Jackson Educational Access Channel and Channel 17 University of Rio Grande TV. Our podcasts are archived and placed on YouTube for your viewing and listening again and again. Our mission is simple. It's to promote the University of Rio Grande and its diverse educational programs, promote the Ohio State University South Centers and its many business technology programs, and finally promote Southern Ohio, a great place to live, learn, and enjoy life to its fullest. Co-hosts are Jason Winters, Director of the Center for Small Business Entrepreneurship, and Mike Thompson, Instructional Design and Media Services Director, both with the University of Rio Grande, and also Patrick Dengel, Business Development Specialist, and Kimberly Rouse, Program Assistant, both with the OSU South Centers. We are here today, and we're joined with our special guest, Nathan Walzer. And it's hard for me to say Nathan because I know him as Nate. Nate is an MBA student, and he's going to be working with us on Blog Talk Radio for the next, probably the next few months. And today is his day. We are going to interview Nate. We're going to talk a little bit about his experiences with the MBA program, his experience with the University of Rio Grande, where he comes from, which is the Connecticut area. And we're also going to talk about the Rio Grande soccer team and recruiting for the university. So I'd like to introduce to you Nathan Walzer. Nate, welcome.
Thank you.
Why don't you start the show by telling our listeners a little bit about yourself?
All right. Well, my name's Nate Walzer. I'm 25. I am an MBA student with the university. I'm also one of the graduate assistants for the men's soccer program. And I came from Connecticut out to Rio Grande. It's been wonderful, and I'm glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit about Connecticut.
Well, Connecticut's a really small state compared to Ohio. Ohio's really big. Aside from that, it's really not that much different in a lot of ways. I don't know. It's really not that much different.
Did you have a culture shock when you moved here?
Yeah, a little bit, actually. This place is out in the middle of nowhere. Where I come from, the population of my town is probably about 10,000 people, and we consider that to be a really small town.
Plus the proximity to New York City. And
yeah, we're about an hour from New York City, 2 hours from Boston, 45 minutes from Hartford. So the big cities are really close. When you come out here, you have to drive 2 hours to Columbus, 4 hours to Cleveland.
Yeah, let's go to the mall. Okay, that'll be all day.
Yeah, I'll take an hour just to drive there.
So what brought you to Rio Grande?
Well, the main reason I came out here was to play soccer. The head coach, Scott Morrissey, recruited me to come out here, and I played goalie for Rio Grande's team in 2007 and then again in 2008.
So how did Scott find out that there was this guy by the name of Nate Walzer in Connecticut?
Well,
he's a big name on the East Coast, I guess.
Yeah, everyone,
is that what it is?
Everyone knows me. No, but I was actually living in Florida at the time, and I was playing on a PDL team, which is a professional development league. And two of the players who play on Rio Grande's team came down, Cal Morris and Mark Young, and they were having a tryout for our team. And I played well, so when they came back up here, they told Scott about me, and Scott later on contacted me.
So you played in the goalie position?
Yeah.
How is it playing that position? That seems pretty interesting.
It's a lot different. Kind of got to be a little...
Not a lot of running.
Not a lot of running, which is why I like it the most. Yeah. No, not really. But you got to be a little crazy. You kind of got to go... You're always diving around, going after the ball. It's really pressure. It's a lot of pressure because you're the last guy back. You can't let the ball in the goal or the game's over. So there's a lot of...
Cat-like reflexes.
Yeah, you got to be a cat. You have a lot of... So, I don't know. It's good. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite position, clearly.
So when did you start playing soccer?
I started playing soccer when I was probably around 4. Played my entire life. Always loved it. It was my main sport. I tried playing baseball. Didn't really care for it. Played basketball a little bit. I wrestled in high school.
And any particular reason? I just guess you like soccer. I mean, it's not an American sport.
Yeah.
And nobody, really, I don't know, at least around here, it's like, oh, it ain't football.
Yeah, well...
Actually, it is football.
Yeah, I know it is. In Europe, it is football. But, the way it's looked at least around here, maybe it's different on the East Coast.
It's a little bit different where I'm from. We had no football team in our high school.
Oh,
so,
wow.
soccer was, the big thing when I grew up, and I don't know, I just started playing it when I was young, and when you're good at something, you kind of like to play it more. So I was always good at soccer, so I just kept with it and enjoyed playing it forever. And so once I got to high school, there's no football team, so I just stuck with soccer, and that was the thing.
Were you always goalie or keeper?
No, I actually played forward and center back my entire life, and I didn't play goalie until I was a sophomore in high school.
How'd you get?
Well, we had a really good goalie, but he graduated, so we kind of just needed someone to fill the position, and I was just like, yeah, I'll do it. I don't mind.
Not kind of like you're the tallest and reach.
No,
farther.
I was probably I was one of the shortest people on the team, but I just didn't care. I just decided to jump in net, and then my first season playing, I was all conference, so I decided to stick with it. Had a lot of fun doing it.
Now, you played for our national championship team, right?
That was in 2003. In 2008, when I played, we made it to the national finals, and then we lost in overtime. So it's a little bit of a sore subject, but no.
Well, I'm glad I brought it up.
Yeah, thanks. No, I played for a really good team here in 2008, and we made it to the national finals and then lost in overtime. It was a really good experience, but it sucks that we lost.
Yeah, those games are always, I don't know, they're just really close, and the weather seems to be always terrible. But the year that we actually won, it was like 20 degrees. It's like, I don't know how these guys are out there running around in, I don't know if they were in shorts and T-shirts, but they were just, it was like icy rain and 20 degrees. It was awful.
Yeah, those are terrible conditions.
So, Nate, what was your undergraduate degree?
My undergraduate in sport and exercise sciences and a minor in health.
And you're now in our MBA program.
Yes, I am.
So how did you get to our MBA program?
Well, I was offered a graduate assistant position with the soccer team, and with that, I was able to enroll in either business or education, and I decided I'd like to further my education, so I decided to do business. Education's not really my thing, so I decided to join the business program and try to become more knowledgeable in business, which in the long term will help me out.
Are you going to combine the sports and the business somehow? Is that what you want to do?
Ultimately, I'd like to. I'm not really sure how, but I'm really interested in personal training right now, and that's something I've been working really hard to get certified and do stuff with that. So maybe someday in the future I can be a personal trainer and have some kind of business incorporated with that.
But business is really not foreign to you. You actually have some family members that are in business for themselves, correct?
Yeah, my father owns his own gun exporting company back in Connecticut at home. So.
And when I called you, what was it, last summer? Where did your phone ring?
I'm not really sure. I don't remember when you called me.
You were in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah. All right. My aunt and uncle, I was living in Hawaii for the summer, and my aunt and uncle own a coffee farm in Hawaii. So I was out there for a month and a half working and just learning the ropes a little bit, helping them out as much as I could with stuff that I'm good at and they're not. So
what do you have to be good at to be on a coffee farm?
Well, a lot of the construction side of it, planting and doing stuff like that, but there's really not that much. It's really pretty simple. You just got to grow the coffee. The coffee grows, and then when it grows, you got to harvest it. And
is that a hand method, or is there machines?
Yeah, no, there's hand method. They do it kind of old school. They don't have a huge property. They might have about 3 acres, which is a lot, but not really a lot. So they're kind of a really small operation, but it's pretty much all hand-picked, all hand-planted. Everything's pretty much done by hand. My uncle's really old school, so that's
so
how
do
he
they
likes to do
export
stuff.
out of Hawaii, or is that?
It's pretty much just a local thing.
Okay.
Probably most of the people that they export to is probably my family, but aside from that, it's a really local thing.
I was trying to get Nate enrolled in the MBA program at the time, and I was calling his cell phone to try to get information that he needed to get.
Except it was 4 in the morning when you called me
there.
Phone
was ringing, and he was answering occasionally, and he was tired, and other times I couldn't get a hold of him. Where are you anyway? I'm in Hawaii.
Yeah, on the other side of the world almost.
Yeah, in paradise.
Yeah.
It was terrible. No.
I don't want to talk to a Jason in paradise. Leave me alone.
What's this guy calling me for at 4 in the morning?
Well, let's see what else we have on here. What else did you want to talk about today? You talked a little bit about the MBA program.
What do you think about your experience at Rio Grande?
Yeah.
So far at Rio Grande, it's been good. It's really different from home, and it's really different from all the places that I've been, but I enjoy it out here. It's really peaceful. I really like the people that I've met. the people that I've met, or more so than the area that I'm in, I really enjoy like all the friends and like pretty much they're all family now, and everyone that I've met's been really supportive in everything that I do. So I really like Rio Grande. It's a really good family atmosphere, and then the soccer program just promotes family, and there's a lot of kids on the soccer program who are from overseas and all over the world. So when they come here, we all kind of we're really close together. So if I can't go home for a holiday like Thanksgiving or something, usually Scott has a big to-do at his house with all the players who can't go anywhere. So it's just a really good family atmosphere. It's fun. And I like the area. I don't know. It's peaceful. It's really different. It's kind of make your own fun, but I don't have too much trouble with that. So I just go out and do
Would you
stuff.
stay here?
No. I like it here. It's been a good learning experience, but I think when I leave...
Where do you want to go? If
I'd like
you
to
had
go
the
out
perfect world.
In the perfect world, I'd like to go out to the West Coast, maybe like Oregon or Washington, somewhere northeast where I can ski a lot, and also do what I like to do.
What do you like to do?
Or I mean,
long
do
walks
what
on the beach or something?
Yeah, basket weaving, long walks on the beach. No, but just be able to take what I want to do with personal training or whatever else happens, and then just be able to have my fun on the side. Around here, there's not enough snow. I can't cope with it.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think everyone else is.
Professional soccer. That's easy to roll off the end of my tongue, isn't it? Not in the cards for you?
I don't think so. I think I retired, hung up my boots. After that game, I think that's the last time I've competitively played, and that was in 2008. So I'm really enjoying the coaching side of it now, though. It's a totally different world from being a player and all that, and then going to the coaching aspect where you're looking at it from the other perspective at the players and trying to manage
More of a
all
bigger
them.
picture?
Oh, totally. Well, as a player, you show up, you perform. That's what you're supposed to do. That's it. And now as a coach, you have to take all these players and make them into a team.
Capitalize on their strengths.
Exactly.
And make them a
micromanage your team. Take each player and try to get the best out of them into a team. And with some of our players, it's really hard because we have people from England, some from Chile, some from Brazil, and they're like totally different cultures, different playing styles and everything. And then we have to put them all together, get them to change the way that they think and play the style that we want to play.
What are the
It's
style differences between England and Brazil or something?
Well, you have different formations. Like you have soccer formations like a 4-3-3, a 4-4-2, which are four at the back, 4 midfielders, and then 2 forwards. But when inside the formation, like the center midfielders could be playing in a box style, a diamond style.
Just what their coverage is?
Yeah, different ways that they coverage, different ways that they defend. The Brazilian culture, if a ball's played through, they stop and they go to this guy that's closest to them to defend. Well, a lot of the English guys, they're taught to track their runners, so they turn around and start running. Well, if you have someone go and then the Brazilian guy just stops, everyone's not on the same page. And if everyone's not on the same page, then there's loads of problems.
I never really thought about
there's
cultural differences in
all
play.
Different. I mean, they learn how to play differently in Brazil than people in England. It's just really different culture. The game's the same, but there's so many different facets.
How about the
to
American side, which you played for?
Typically with Americans that we see here, they're just really hard workers. When you find they're more easily adaptable to the different styles, just because I find that they have a different work rate. They're more hardworking than the Brazilians are, who typically are kind of lazy. So, but
well, they are more laid back, and,
yeah, they do
I've
have
heard of South American time. It's like, okay, be here at 1, and they're
2:30. They
maybe
just show
whatever.
up.
It's like, hey, it's today.
You know, Mike, if we did not know we were talking about soccer, we could easily be talking about business right now.
It does.
There's a lot of parallels between athletics and between business. What we're talking about here is organizational culture. And I find a lot of my athletes, and especially in the MBA program when they come in, they're really good at putting teams together. And that really plays out well when they start talking about how they're going to organize a business and how they're going to do a management structure and how they're going to organize their employees and how they're going to pull their employees together. So there's a lot of parallels between athletics and business.
Absolutely.
So tell us, are you actively involved in the recruiting here at the university?
Yeah. With Scott and Tony, who are the head and assistant coaches, we're constantly trying to talk to players from all over the world and a lot of players locally. We have a lot of local players around here that we haven't reached out to, and we're trying to get more local players in from the surrounding areas like Point Pleasant, Chillicothe, Circleville. We want to get more of them players in, because our team right now is typically a lot of English players, Brazilian, Portuguese players, South American players. So
how do you go about finding people?
We have contacts all over the place. We have
through coaches.
We have
coaches network.
We have a coaches network. We have players that have played here that moved back home, so they're always tipping us off to, oh, we saw this guy. Here's his name, his contact information. I'll try to get a hold of him, and then it kind of just builds up. We have contacts, people down in like Chile and Brazil and England, who are constantly having showcases, and when they see a player, a lot of the times they know that we recruit like that, so they call us and they tell us about these players.
Is it very competitive? I mean, is there other American
time.
Universities looking at the same person?
It's so difficult for us to recruit because of that, because we'll see a player that we really want, and then you'll have a school like Duke or big Division I schools that want the same player, and it's really hard to get them to come here when at the end of the day they're the ones that have tons of money. Their facilities are absolutely gorgeous, not saying ours aren't, but they have so much money that it's hard to say, come to an NAIA school when this big Division I program wants you.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the talent pool of soccer. I know, several years ago, if you wanted a quality soccer player, you did pull from out of the country because,
But now we've heard so much about soccer moms and the whole thing through, the United States. These kids have probably now parents maybe who played soccer when they were little kids, and now they're having kids.
Yeah, and I'm even seeing students that come into the MBA program that are foreign students, and they're talking about taking talent now from the United States back to play in England. So how's the talent pool progressing in this country?
It's definitely getting better. Compared to how it was 10 years ago to now, we're starting to catch up with the rest of the world. But because we see that coaches from all over the world are coming here to start coaching our players, so everyone's getting better, and people who have played at a higher level are starting to coach our kids. So it's not parents and stuff who don't really know what they're talking about going out to coach their teams anymore.
I coached soccer for 4 years, and I don't have a clue how to play the game.
So now we're having
kick it into the net.
Yeah, just kick it into the net, you're good. So now we're having coaches who have actually played in the past coaching kids, so it creates a development. And we have coaches like Tony, the assistant soccer coach here, has just started the RSA, which is the Rio Soccer Academy. And he has set 6 or 7 different teams, starting from 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, up to 14-year-olds.
So is that like a soccer camp we have here?
It's like a little league.
Okay.
He's starting.
That's not like a traveling team.
Yeah, it is a traveling team.
Okay.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay, cool.
So he's starting to coach these kids from a young age and to build them up so that they don't just jump into it when they're 12 and expect to be good. You can't do that. They start at a young age and they get good coaching and they move all the way up. And eventually, when they're older, they progress well.
One of the draws to American football in this country is money. I mean, if you make it to the pros, big bucks.
Yeah.
Is there money in soccer?
Yeah, absolutely. In England, some of the top players are getting paid £100,000 a week. So, I don't even know how much that comes out to, but that's probably $150,000, $200,000 a week. And here, I think the minimum payment paid is, some people are getting $50,000 a year, who aren't really playing much. So there's loads of money in soccer. And some of the leagues under the MLS, like the USL, they get paid to play. So yeah, there's definitely money in soccer but you have to get to the higher levels, without a doubt.
Okay. What else did you want to talk about today? There was something else on there. I've lost
Has there
my
been
list.
anything in the MBA program that has impressed you or you learned?
I've learned tons in the MBA
that
program.
Light bulb moment. It's like, man, I didn't know that happened.
Putting me on the spot here, but
it is finals week.
Yeah, it's finals week. My brain's fried trying to write papers, but I learned a lot in Gail Ball's class. And it's talked loads about leadership and management and how to be a leader and what good leadership is and how to apply it into the rest of your life. That's one of the biggest things that I've taken from me. And then here in Jason's class, we had to give a lot of presentations up in front of the class a lot, and it's helped me to become a better speaker. I'm more comfortable in front of a camera. I can talk to people, so that's helped me a lot.
Yeah, that means
And
a lot.
believe it or not, he is not a natural. The
No.
first presentation was
Dismal.
I'm Nate.
Hi, I'm Nate. I used to get really nervous, but it's just practice. It's repetition. So in Jason's class, I've had to get up in front of a class and continually do the same thing. So it's helped me to feel a little bit more comfortable. So those are the few things that I've taken away. There's a lot of other things.
One of the things that I realized after a while is just, when you're speaking to a group, whether it's a class or a crowd or a meeting or whatever, those people don't know a lot more than you do. Don't be real impressed. They may have some power, but, I know my subject. Here it is. So, I don't get too nervous. Plus, I'm in front of the camera. I'm behind the camera.
You're in front of the camera all the time. This is what you do.
Yeah, you notice he's not facing the camera, though,
Yeah.
so he can pretend it's not there.
Well, that's for the viewers more than anyone else.
Yeah. Let's check out my hairline.
Behind the scenes today, we've got Patrick Dengel. You can see his fingers there waving in front of you. I'm just curious if Pat might have anything to add to this conversation today. We've kind of left him out of it, and that's not intentional, but he's the man behind the camera today, and he's making his way forward.
Two questions for you. The first question that I have is, what's it like in Southern Ohio? Living in Southern Ohio, it's a rural area. I know Woodbury is rural.
Yeah, it's definitely rural. They have a lot of similarities like that because there's a big farming population there. People do farm there. In our high school, like the FFA thing, which you've been involved
My
with.
son is heavily involved in it.
It's really big at our high school. It's huge.
You wouldn't think that being in
You'd
Connecticut.
never think that, but kids from all over Connecticut come to our high school because it's known for its FFA program. I had one that wasn't my thing, so I was never involved with it, but that's a similarity that it has to Ohio. And then like population wise, it's just
Hey Nate, I'm a city person.
yeah.
I like to look out my window and see the whites of my neighbor's eyes. What is FFA?
It's the Future Farmers of America. That's a tough question for me because I don't really know much about it myself, but it was just a big program that I know since agriculture and farming and things are really big in Southern Ohio. That's just a way to tie it into.
How do Appalachian people strike you? What are your impressions? Because I know as observing and being here and being one of them, that sometimes we put ourselves down. We think we're not as smart as everybody else.
It's just
We're the only hillbillies in the world. West Virginia, Southeast Ohio, Kentucky. This is just hillbilly heaven or whatever. And everywhere else is better and smarter or more cityfied or whatever you
Well, I
want to
might
say.
be a little biased, but I think everyone from Connecticut's smarter. No, but it's definitely not true because you guys are just smarter in the things that you guys do on a regular basis. It's not necessarily that people are smarter in Connecticut or everywhere else that I've been. You guys are just better at your focus, farming, agriculture, things like that. But I mean, no.
The thing I
not
think
necessarily
that
that people are
is
stupid.
a cornerstone of Appalachian culture is being able to do it yourself, resourcefulness, and that's something I've always looked up to. I mean, for people that are not wealthy by any stretch, is just the ability to get by. You need your tractor fixed, or you need whatever fixed, and you can some duct tape and baling wire, you can get the thing running. Where other people that they would have to take it back to the dealership to get it fixed. Just the resourcefulness, and I don't need any help. I can do it on my own. That I think is part of the Appalachian culture.
Yeah, definitely. You see stuff like that, and also like maybe I don't know if you'd necessarily call it Appalachian culture or not, but like you see Amish people all around here who do it themselves. They do everything themselves, and they're awesome. Like you don't see Amish people riding on a buggy on the street in Connecticut. Like that would be insane. But here, like they do it all the time, and they're they're taught how to do things at such a young age that there's 15-year-olds building houses, and that just strikes me as amazing. Like that stuff's
that's
so
one
cool.
thing, and I'm into English things, cars and beer and whatever. And
Cars and what?
Beer.
Beer, okay.
And
that's what I
whatever,
thought you said.
Music. I'm into British stuff. And I have a lot of British friends, and trying to talk to them, some who have never been here, just the differences, they think, well, especially in gas prices and stuff, the distances we have to drive, and how rural a lot of the United States is.
Oh, it's crazy.
And just telling us, like, we have a post at the bank where you can tie your horse up. That's how rural we are.
A little trough out front as well.
Yeah.
So, speaking of beer, how's life on campus?
Oh, well, since it's a dry campus, we don't do that, no. But campus life's good. It's enjoyable. We just try to make it the fun as much as we can. We're just really involved with a lot of the soccer guys on campus, just because I was a player and everything. I like to skateboard a lot. Usually you can find me skateboarding around campus.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. Nate's a player. Yeah.
I try. But campus life is good. I enjoy it.
And one thing that I think is different between a small campus like this and larger campuses, OU or OSU or something, just the virtue of it being small, you can do what you want. Say if there isn't a club, if there isn't an activity, you can build it and you can make it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like what we did with the wrestling program.
Yeah, that was a great
doesn't
program.
exist anymore, but
it was good.
Some
at the time.
kids wanted it, and they made it, and they were very successful.
Yeah, there's like stuff like that. Like going back to skateboarding, I started skateboarding around here, and I've been doing it ever since I've come out here. Because me and my friends back home, it's something that we do. It's something we love to do. And since there's not much snow out here, I can't snowboard. So, but since I started doing it, a lot of my friends, people I know that like to skateboard, have started buying skateboards, and we go out and ride all the time. So all of a sudden, at first it was just me, and now there's 10 of us who at times we all go out together, and it's kind of funny to see us because it looks like there's almost like a little skateboard gang kind of just going down the street. But it's
all wearing leather.
Yeah. Snapping our fingers.
Rattling the chains,
No, but it's good.
You want to rumble?
Are there any faculty people that skateboard with you?
There's not any faculty out there yet that skateboard with us, but it's only a matter of time before Jason gets out there. We'll see Pat soon.
Yeah, we don't bounce like we used to.
No, and I don't know that our insurance is as good as what it used to be. So
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen
Where
anytime
do
soon.
you go
I
to
used
like
to ride.
skateboard parks, or what do you? Where you?
They don't have stuff like that around. I think there's one in Gallipolis, or there might be one in Chillicothe, but I don't really go out there that often. I just kind of like to cruise and ride around just down the streets, try not to get hit by cars.
Like in Rio Grande?
Yeah,
or
just
Gallipolis?
around Rio Grande, around Gallipolis, just around like the back roads, everywhere. We kind of just ride around and just go out for
You
a
like
few
going
hours.
downhill?
Love it.
Really fast.
Yeah, I'm more of like I'm not good at like doing tricks and going to a skateboard park and doing the ramps and stuff. I like to just cruise around, more low key.
Pat's giving me the sign behind the scenes. He wants to
got
know
a
how
minute
the
and a
food
half.
is. How do you like the food?
The food off campus is really good. There's Bob Evans around, and I am one of the managers at Giovanni's restaurant, which is right on campus. Campus food, it's good. It's all right. Could be a little better, but that's what you
Okay,
got.
we have a minute to wrap up.
We do. Next week we have Lisa Pfeiffer with the Pike Count. No, I'm looking wrong. Next week,
Roger Watts.
possibly Roger Watson. We need him to confirm. So, Roger, if you're listening out there, we'd like for you to call Pat and confirm that you will be on the show next week.
Okay, anything you'd like to wrap up with?
Not really. Thanks for having me on the show, guys.
It's been a pleasure.
And-
And you'll be back.
I'll
Yeah.
be back now that I'm the new co-host.
That's right. Pat's got really comfortable sitting behind the camera and running the camera while you co-host with me. So this is a pretty good team. Well, we're going to wrap it up. This has been Blog Talk here at the University of Rio Grande and the Ohio State University South Center's collaboration. And we thank you for listening. I'm Jason.
I'm Nate.
I'm Mike Thompson.
And I'm Pat.
And Patrick Dengel behind the camera.
Have a wonderful day.
And
Thank you
thanks.
for listening.
Thanks for watching. Oh.